Good morning, everybody. It is a great morning here, I'm telling you. I have my Gone Swatchin' coffee mug full of fresh coffee. And we are here to talk about some YouTube growth and collaboration stuff. This is probably not going to be a long video. I just wanted to touch base on a couple of things. Everybody knows by now that my Okies Hustle and my Okies Eden, I'm using as a conduit to help my channel to grow and then share all of my analytics and information and my experiences with my fellow subscriber content creators. I'm open about it. I can show you the data, but I'm pretty much just reading what I see. I haven't printed any out, but I will put in some future videos, some of my data, and I'm gonna go over some data in a few minutes. But the first part is this conduit for YouTube growth. I did some collaborations yesterday, and I'm going to continue doing that. So just so people know, I'm going to try and do 4 next week. They're going to be on 4 different days. It's just the way that the week is working out. Every week for me is challenging as far as scheduling, as is everybody's, I'm sure. But I have places I have to be at certain times, and then there's days that things happen I have no control over, I might have to help with. So that's why I'll just do 4 singles next week. And those, I'm gonna put them in the bottom here, and I'll do a community post and a video on both channels. On Monday, probably Monday is going to be After Dark 60, Michaela. Nicola Recipes. She was set up to do the one yesterday. She had something come up, she could not make it. So she still wants to do it. So we're going to put her in next week, probably Tuesday. I'll email her and we'll figure out the best day for her. And then we have Teacher Kelly Tags. I'm sure everybody that subscribes to me knows who Teacher Kelly Tags is. She emailed me this morning, said she's interested. So I'll probably fit her in sometime next week. These are all up in the air as to what dates, what people are, which ones are gonna be on which date, because I just have to get back to them. And then Misty's Pleasure of Life. Everybody knows Misty and Spongy. Misty said she wants to be on one, and I would love to have Misty on there. So those will be the 4 lives next week. I'm still planning on doing the multiple creator lives where it's 3 or 4 in a row. It's kind of like a talk show where you bring on one guest, then they move to the side, then they bring on the next guest. I tried that yesterday. In more research, I see now where I messed up. I believe where I messed up. And figured out how I think to fix that. So after my live on Monday, I will do a test live with my other channel to see if I can then jump in after that, and then that will simulate a multi-live, a multi-collaborator, content creator live, which then I would do the following week. Because my goal really is, I would love to do, here's what I want to do. I want to challenge myself. I want to try to, it's very difficult to do because there's so many moving parts with other creators. Something could happen. You could have a family emergency during the live. If you're doing 4 or 5 hours, somebody might get a call, or they might be, they might get called into work for an emergency, or, they might lose their internet, or their phone might die out or something because they didn't know it was not, charged fully. There's so many different things. Like yesterday, yesterday mine cut out while I was taping because of the heat. It just shut down, and it said too hot. It won't work until you cool it down. So I had to take it in, let it cool down for a while. There are so many moving parts, and that was my fault. I should have just worked with one, did another one, got it perfected, then moved on to a second collaborator, and then maybe 3. Then over the next month, what I'd like to do is then get into where we're doing 4 or 5 over a 4 or 5 hour period. And then they can come in. When they're done, I bring the next person in, next person, and next person. I'll have a lineup of questions. They can introduce their channel. Then we open it up to the audience. And we had a lot of fun doing it yesterday. Allison, to my surprise, I had no idea she was doing this because I do the backward hat and the sunglasses as my shtick. As soon as she came on the screen, I just started laughing because she had her hat on backwards and sunglasses on. So I thought that was really clever. That's what I like about content creators is they can be clever, and we like to joke around and we like to try different things, and that's great. And it's always great when it's candid like that because somebody's not expecting it. It's kind of shocked, like, oh, whoa, I didn't know that was going to happen. So with that said, I'll put this in the comments below. If you want to be in a collaboration on my channel, where I will send you a link and then you will come in and then you can introduce your channel. We can talk about your channel. I'll have 4 or 5 really, just like you go watch those other ones. They were just simple questions. They're not, they're not questions like, something about physics or, nuclear science or something. It's just going to be stuff about your channel. It's going to be stuff about things that you like, maybe a family question, maybe your favorite food. Depending on what your niche is, I cater it to that. I kind of develop it around what you do. And then I'll have some other questions about what app do you use for editing and things like that. And how do you like it? And what do you see on YouTube? So it'll just be like a conversation. Then we'll jump in and let the audience start popping questions. And I will have already done my intro before I even start the collaboration. That way, when the content creators come in, I try to make it more about the content creator, not me. I want it to be on them because they were invited to the collaboration because I wanted to talk to them and see what their channel's about. So now, I mentioned in one of my videos the other day about failure. I see a lot of YouTubers, if you look at the stats, if you just go look at the stats, so many quit doing YouTube because of frustration. They just don't think their content's good enough. And they just give up. They're just like, you know what, that's not for me. Okay. And the stats prove that out. If you go in and look at, you can go look at the stats. I forget what they are. I looked at them the other day. But I mean, it is a huge percentage of them quit. And even a smaller percentage, get monetized eventually because they stick with it, which that data would play out like that anyways, because if people are quitting, there's going to be less getting monetized. That just makes sense. It's logical. But I mentioned failure. Don't give up. When somebody fails, I'm pushing 60. I've had more failure in my life than somebody that say is 20, okay? I have failed at jobs. I have failed at relationships. I have failed in school, okay? We all have. We all face failure. How we face it, though, is what separates those from that quit and give up. So like I said, I messed up the other day. And like I said, try to learn something on YouTube. If you're trying to grow and get better at YouTube, educate yourself. Try to figure something out. Try a live. Mess it up, okay? Let it get dirty, fall apart, whatever. Then figure out what you did, correct it, improve it, move on. Every time you improve it, things get better and better, okay? And you can overcome your failure. Failure is the absolute best teacher you're ever gonna get in your life. That's just my opinion, but I will hold firm on that. I have learned more from failure. I've had people advise me. I've had my parents through the years, before they passed, they gave me advice. My grandparents gave me advice. And at that age, I was like, get away. I know what I'm doing. I'm 25 years old. I'm experienced. Boom, you fail. Then I gotta be like, okay, now I messed up. Now I gotta fix my mess. So instead of taking their advice, I tried it, failed. But then through that, I finally realized, hey, my failure is caused by, number one, my ego and my ignorance when I'm not listening to somebody that knows better. And coming to you from a friend, somebody that's a true friend or a family member saying, hey, I wouldn't do that, I would do this, and then you just blowing it off. And then failing, through that failure, you realize, well, you know what? They have some experience, maybe I should have listened. And then you learn, number one, to listen, and you learn how to fight through the failure. So like the other day, when I did the live, I had multiple people lined up. Well, when I didn't set it up correctly, things fell apart. We fixed it. We missed out on one. I had to change channels on my other channel to get the live to go through real quick. I had already set up for that in case, kind of as a contingency. Thankfully, I did that. I knew enough to do that. But then going back after it failed, I'm like, okay, so I spent all afternoon thinking and researching and taking notes and going to different sites, watching some videos, going on YouTube, asking, ChatGPT different things. So I did hours of research trying to figure out, and I know what I think I did wrong, but I failed. Now I could have at that point said, I'm done with lives, I'm done with all of that. I am just going to just do my gardening and everything else. I'm not doing live streams with collaborations anymore, but I didn't do that. That's all I'm saying to you is don't quit on stuff. If you mess up on YouTube or your video doesn't do well, go figure out what you did, because chances are you messed something up. I do it all the time. I mess stuff up all the time on YouTube. Then I realize, oh, I got to go back and fix it. So just so you know, if you fail, use that as your best teacher and just move forward, break through the barrier and go. I said I would share some data on SEO on shorts, because I'm going to do an SEO video for search engine optimization, and I shared some data the other day. I did a 1-word title, 2-word description for that rain video. I wanted to see how it would do with absolutely zero data for YouTube to say, hey, what's going on here? And the only hashtag I used was hashtag Okies Eden. That was it. So that's pushing, I think 980 or something. I think I checked it a little while, about an hour ago. It was at 980 or something. So it's pushing 1,000 views. And I'm typically getting 1.1, 1.2. So it is right in the wheelhouse where mine get typically, 700, 800 up to 1,800. So I'm right dead center. I'm right where I need to be with absolutely no SEO data. Could it have been better? Sure, it could have been. I bet you if I did add some stuff, YouTube could have pushed it out to more people. But I want to be able to talk about shorts versus lives and intelligently. In order to do that, I have to mess with the data, mess with the videos on both types, so I can get a feel after 3 or 4 videos as to what's happening behind the scenes with the algorithm. So that's why I do that. And you'll see some of my videos bounce around. I might only get 50. Well, the ones that are really low, I was running a test. There's 2 shorts I ran in the last 2 weeks where I didn't let them sit there for a day or two. I didn't let the algorithm sit there and figure out what's going on, who it's going to push it to. I did the video and I immediately sent it public. So I wanted to see how much of an effect that had, and I believe that has an effect. I can honestly say, after doing that in multiple videos now, if you release a video to public right away, I recommend not doing that. So if you're a new content creator, don't just release a video. Put your SEO data in there. Let it sit there for 24 hours and percolate through the algorithm. Let YouTube figure out what's going on, where it's going to send it, who it's going to push it to. Get all the search stuff in there, so when people search for stuff like that, it's going to pop. So I know that from experience. So if you're a new YouTuber or you're stalled and you just keep creating a video and then releasing it, then that's probably one of your issues. So give it time, like 24 hours. The other reason you want to give it time is because you'll see when you upload a video, you'll see a little message come up next to the video as it's loading. It'll say uploading, it'll say checking. So it's going in and checking for copyright infringements. It's checking all the different things to make sure it is okay to unleash into the YouTube universe. And so if you do that, let it figure it out. Let it go through, do all of its work. And then you got a better chance of not getting hit with anything, with a copyright infringement or some kind of a, whatever they call those things. When you get a knock against you from YouTube, you can get like a couple strikes and then you're out. So give it 24 hours. But I had 2 really simple videos. As soon as they were finished, they were shorts. I just dumped them into the YouTube, universe and let them go, and they did almost absolutely nothing. So I know, as far as letting it sit there for 24 hours or so does help. SEO data for a short, I'm starting to lean towards, because the one I ran, like I said, the rain, I got almost 1,000, and I did that checklist. So on that checklist one, that little short I did yesterday, or did it run last night, I think? I was sitting here doing a checklist for what I had to do during the day, and I said, you know, that would be a funny one to see how that would do on the YouTube algorithm. So I turned the page, put 3 things on the checklist, and you'll see the short in there. It's drink coffee, be awesome, play in the dirt, or play in the garden. Those were the 3 things, and then a check mark next to each. I didn't put it, all I said was Okies checklist, and then I put hashtag Okies Eden was the only SEO data in there, and that's at 450 and climbing from last night. So that was with pretty much zero SEO data. So I'm pretty sure once you have your, because the way they push these shorts, I think once YouTube knows your channel and knows what you're doing, as long as you keep pushing the stuff out in that niche on a short, I don't think the SEO data has as much of an effect as it does as with your long forms. You should do you still need to do all your, I'm not saying don't do it. I just wanted to do a test to see how much it affected the shorts versus the longs. I know how it affects the longs because I made some huge mistakes early on and where I got nothing. And then I went in and ran a similar video with all the SEO data and they blew up pretty good. So that was that. So that's where this is probably I'm gonna be almost done here, but I did want to go back and say, remember, next week there'll be 4 live streams. Hopefully, if I can schedule it all out with everybody, it'll be After Dark 60, Teacher Kelly tags, Misty Pleasures of Life, Nicole's recipes. Those would be the 4 that will be able to go live with me next week on a collaboration, and then I'm going to try a couple more tests on having multiple collaborators, content creators come on one after the other like a talk show. I think I figured that out. I'm going to work on that. So with that said, please like, please subscribe, please comment at the bottom. Please go in the bottom here, even if you've been on my channel before and you subscribe, please go down in the comments, put your information in the comments. Let people know what your channel's about. So when other people do show up, which they do, they will show up, they can read the comments, add a comment. I know when I go to somebody's page, I thumb through the other comments. If I see somebody that's in a niche I like, I go visit their page and then I interact with them to try to subscribe to them or see if they subscribe to me. It's part of YouTube growth. So please, when this goes public, please just go down, put your information, what your channel's about, give people an opportunity to help you grow your channel and for them to grow their channel, and then to learn about each other and then maybe even have a collaboration with them someday. So with that said, I want you all to have a great day. Enjoy your day. Go have some coffee or tea or whatever you drink normally, and just go out there, drink coffee, be awesome, and go play in the dirt.